So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Season 1 content. We're going to be breaking down the intro cinematic, going over the guns, some battle pass skins and whatnot, and overall just some input. Now, real quick before we do start off, I do want to give a little mention that Charlie Intel did post that there is going to be some preseason login rewards and whatnot. So you're going to be able to get a blueprint for what looks like the FAMAS, the little Uzi, the Maleo or whatever it's called, a breach and clear calling card. You're going to be able to get some charms, a reticle, operator skins, and yeah. So if you guys don't own the game or are going to buy the game, definitely try and get it before December 16th so you can get some of this content, because once it's gone, it's definitely going to be gone. Now, getting into the Season 1 info, we're going to go over the roadmap real quick just because it does show off the main input of what the video is going to be about, but not entirely. So we do see the main character Adler on the left of the screen, and we do see that Nuketown 84 obviously came out in November, but the core info is on the right side. But before we move on real quick, Adler is holding one of the new DLC guns. Now, I've tried to look up what other people are saying. I believe this is going to be the Striker, but I do want to say it kind of looks like what an M1927 kind of would look like to a point. I don't think it's going to be any of those guns. I can't really say what it's going to be, but it definitely looks like it's going to be an SMG, but I just think that it looks a lot like an M1927, and I could not find out what it would be otherwise. But obviously we can see that there are some multiplayer maps and modes. As for what Woods is doing, he's kind of got like a little briefcase, and I don't think this is VIP escort, so I don't know what this would really be, but we can obviously see that it's in like a mall kind of setting, which definitely goes with the one of the maps that we know. And 2v2 gunfight is returning, and I just cannot wait to play that with friends. Now, as for the new weapons, like I said, we have the M1927 kind of looking gun. I want to say it's the Striker, but there's a lot of stuff that looks to me that it's not the Striker, and it's more of like a SMG, but I don't know what it could be. But we do see the other new weapon, which is the Groza. Now, for the Groza, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so hopefully I'm not butchering it, I do want to believe that it is an AR, but you could probably make that into an SMG. And the only reason why I say that is because in Battlefield 4, I believe there was two versions, an AR and an SMG. And it would make sense if you'd be able to kind of turn it into both. Like, obviously, maybe there was like a muzzle that lowered the damage range but gave you a faster fire rate, and then you could put more ammo with a speed reloader and whatnot. And we just get to see a lot of cool little knickknacks, zombie modes. We don't know what that's about. Much more obviously means there's more to come in the battle pass and in the season and whatnot, and I also believe that means we will finally be getting bundles in the shop and whatnot. And then we get to see a classified Warzone experience. Now, we can read a couple words off of it. One for sure is island. So this is going to go with the trailer that we are going to break down real quick and basically just give the overall idea of what this season will look like. Now, to start off with what this season is going to be all about, we do get a little intro, of course, to where we are, which is we are at a CIA safe house, and this is just the overall cinematic. So when you first boot up the game, when Season 1 comes out on December 16th, they're going to watch this and whatnot, but we're at a safe house, and then the door gets busted down, all the people get shot up and, you know, gunned down, and then we see this masked figure. Now, this masked figure, we do know the name and a little bit about him, and I'll get into that a little later on in the video, but he is basically just this really cool looking guy. He's all blacked out when we see his face and whatnot. We don't get to see what he looks like right away in the trailer, which I thought was perfect. I don't want to know who he is right away. I'd like to know some background before I know what he looks like and whatnot, and that's what they do. And yeah, we get to see him looking at an evidence board. Now, to me, the evidence board is kind of an Easter egg towards the campaign, kind of like, hey, if you played the campaign in Black Ops Cold War, of course, you will know that you get to choose what missions you go on off of the evidence board. So if you want to do a side mission, there's side missions, there's evidence that you collect and whatnot, there's the next missions and whatnot, and I do believe that this is kind of a little Easter egg reference to that. Obviously, it's probably not, because in the Cold War, a lot of people used boards and just put everything that they had on characters on that board. And then we do get to see a head-on shot, which he has dog tags around his neck. He's got a gas mask, and we can't currently see any of his face. It's all obscured by his hood and whatnot. And yeah, he just looks like a total badass and whatnot. And he just looks like this really cool character that's going to hopefully not just be in one season, but many more. Now, as for the Warzone experience that I talked about in the little roadmap photo, we do get the little Operation Rebirth. Now, I want to believe that this is going to be the Warzone experience. Obviously, when Black Ops 4 had its blackout, they did the Alcatraz Island, and there was a little leak actually back during October of this year when they found that Warzone was in the files for, or not Warzone, Alcatraz was in the file for Warzone. So this is obviously probably the Warzone experience that's going to start off the connection. They're probably not going to give us Black Ops Cold War's map till after this. This is probably just going to be like a little intro to what they're going to do for their game, because obviously Black Ops Cold War looks different than Warzone. It feels different than Warzone. So this is going to be like a little intro to what the game could be about. As for if they will make multiplayer maps on this, I don't think they will. It's just kind of a weird thing to try and cut off a piece for multiplayer, unless if we have a multiplayer match inside of Alcatraz, but I highly doubt that. But this is definitely going to be the Warzone experience that they had mentioned. As for the background on the character, we find out that he is indeed a Nova 6 scientist. So he was working on Nova 6, which ties back to the first Black Ops, of course, and he worked underneath Kaf Krachinka. I know I butchered the name. But yeah, it's really cool to just get some backstory on him, and we do know a little bit more, which Charlie Intel had tweeted that photo and whatnot and just showed us a little precursor to what he is. So basically, he is an ex-KGB, and he is going to be Perseus. Now, at first, I didn't think this was going to be Perseus because he's not mentioned by him, obviously, but Perseus is an alias and whatnot. And he does look like Perseus when we do finally get to see a shot of his face and whatnot. He is Russian and whatnot. We don't know his place of birth or whatever, but we do know that he's an ex-KGB chemical weapons expert who ran the Nova 6 program at Rebirth Island, which of course is going to be Alcatraz Island. And until the CIA raided it and ended it in 1968, it's now driven by a burning hatred of Russell Adler, the CIA agent that took his eye during the Rebirth operation. So, of course, that ties back to the photo of Alcatraz Island when it said, of course, Operation Rebirth. And it was kind of just a little stab at Adler, because what we do see in the next or following shots from the photo of Operation is we see Adler walk in to the room with this new character. Now, the new character I want to believe is actually going to be the one of the tier 25 characters. I don't know if she'll be new. She could be new, but I think we're going to get Perseus as the tier 1 skin. If we don't, I kind of don't want him to be anyways, because I want him to be a later season, like we finally get to play as this character. We've seen him and all that, but I do think she'll be the new character, and she is actually holding the new SMG or AR, the Groza, which we will see in a later photo. But they're basically looking at this evidence board. They're at the place, the CIA safe house that was, of course, shot up in the beginning, and there's a knife that's holding a piece of paper, which is the grand reopening for the mall of the mall at the Pines, which is basically the mall map that we're gonna get, which we're supposed to get a raid map, and I'm wondering if that might be somehow like a raid map. Like maybe raid is enclosed in this building. I highly doubt it, and I hope not, but could be. But obviously it says right on the sheet of paper, it says time we end this, and it's just really cool that we're going to kind of get a mall map. I don't think that we've ever had a mall map that's really been that great. There was one in Black Ops 2, but it was kind of more like there was like a nightclub that you ran through, and there was a couple stores, but it was never like an actual enclosed mall. We did have a casino in Black Ops 4, and I think this map might be a lot like that, but not entirely. But yeah, we get a shot of the outside of the mall at the Pines, and it's in New Jersey. And to me, this little snippet of this photo just screams a little intro to the map. So we'll come flying in or driving in, And I think this is going to be where one team spawns in. We'll spawn on the road right here, and then we'll have to run into the mall, and then the huge fight happens on the mall. But entirely, this map doesn't look that big. We can see like where the whole side of the mall ends. We can see the opposite end and whatnot. So I'm wondering if both teams aren't going to be fighting in the mall, but both teams spawn outside the mall. So both teams have to run in, and then that's where the fighting happens in like the middle of the map and whatnot. Are we going to be able to run through stores and whatnot? It looks really unique and whatnot, and it looks a lot like Miami, the map from multiplayer, where it's like all purple and whatnot. It's dark. Not a whole lot of lighting, you know, so it's going to be really unique. I think a lot of knifers are going to like running around with their knife because, you know, you can kind of hide. It's not so bright and whatnot. But we do get a shot of multiple characters in this photo, with Adler being on the right, a new character or a existing character but a new skin on the left, which I do believe that Adler and this character with the Juggernaut helmet are going to be Battle Pass exclusive skins and whatnot, of course. I think Adler will be the tier 1 with the new character or whatever, but I do believe that this guy that's in the helmet or whatever is already in the multiplayer, and he's just going to be some add-on skin for somebody. But he's holding an M16, Adler's holding a QBZ, and the character in the middle is the female that was just previously in the photo, and she's holding the new AR or SMG, which is going to be really cool to see how that gun's going to perform. Again, like, is it an SMG or an AR? I'm pretty sure it's an AR, but it could be a different weapon. Now in this next shot, we do see Perseus from the bottom half. I screenshotted this one because obviously this is going to be the new gun. This is what I believe is going to be the striker, and the only reason why I say it's not an SMG is because the barrel looks, with all those holes, looks like what a shotgun would do. Like that's where the fire would come out, like from the muzzle and stuff. But it does look like a silencer might be on the tip, so I don't really know what that's all about. But obviously, I think the clip / cartridge just looks more like what a shotgun would be. So I don't think this is going to be an SMG at all. I think this is going to be like the striker, which would be really cool. But if it's an SMG, then we're getting an AR and an SMG most certainly, but I believe this is the striker. And then we do get a final shot of Perseus. We get to see what his face looks like. He's obviously missing an eye and whatnot, which is cool because, spoiler alert, in the campaign, we never saw a photo without him having 2 eyes. So obviously, there's some stuff we don't know, and it's just really cool. And I'm in love with this character. Again, I don't think he'll be tier 1. I just think having him in the first season kind of ruins his character. But yeah, the trailer basically ends, the intro ends with basically everyone being cornered. There's guns pointed at everyone, and Perseus walks out of an elevator and says, "Kill everyone except for Adler, he's mine." And so it's a really cool and unique little intro. And then we do see that obviously season 1 will be coming out on December 16th with the free content update. So it's going to be really cool to see how that fits into the game. How is it going to act and whatnot. So I do want to say, without ending the video real quick, I do want to say that I do think that bundles in the shop are going to be coming, because obviously one of the main things that really made Modern Warfare such a success was having battle pass and bundles. So if you wanted a bundle or something, you know, and it was $20, you would pay the $20. And so right now with Black Ops Cold War, they're missing out on money, not only because they don't have a battle pass in the game right now, but because they don't have a bundle and whatnot. So with season 1, we do know that there's going to be something Christmas related in the battle pass, or I think we're going to get a bundle. Like Frank Woods could be in a Santa's costume, red and white, and you could get like a gun skin with that, a candy cane charm, some calling cards or whatever. And I just really believe that with season 1, when they say "and more" on the roadmap, that we are going to be getting the bundles finally in the shop, and you're going to be able to buy something, like, you know, and just have real fun with it. But without further ado, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys want to know what I think is going to be in the battle pass for sure, and what Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War could do for their battle pass and how they could handle it and whatnot, definitely check out the video. I'll have it tagged at the end of this video. And without further ado, I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.